Florida Theatrical Association and Beacon, the Broward Education Communications Network, proudly present On Broadway.
Hello, and welcome to our latest edition of On Broadway. I'm Tatiana Chavarria, and on behalf of Florida Theatrical Association, Broadway Across America, Beacon TV, and the Broward Center for Performing Arts, I'd like to welcome the cast of Legally Blonde. Welcome, everyone. Now, if you can introduce yourselves and tell us who you play.
I'm Ven Daniel, and I play Grandmaster Chad, Dewey, and Kyle, the UPS guy.
I'm Lucia Spina, and I play Enid Hoops.
I'm Rhiannan Hanson, and I play Margot.
Now, for those who do not know what the show is about, can someone give a synopsis? Let us know what the show is about.
Legally Blonde is about a young woman, Elle Woods, who has this dream to be with her boyfriend, so she goes for it, and he ends up breaking up with her, and she decides to follow him and win his heart back. And the show is about her determination to get with him and figure out, you know, their story, as well as finding herself and finding out what she truly was born for and what she wants to do in her life outside of love and boys.
If you ask my father, he'll tell you it's about a UPS guy who falls in love with a hairstylist, and then some other things happen.
Now, what was the audition process? Because I'm sure it's different for all different types of people. I'd like to know what the audition process was for everyone.
Well, you and I auditioned at the same time, yeah?
Yep.
So basically, we all have agents, and our agents submit us for projects that they think we're good for, and they send them to casting directors, and if casting directors like us, then they tell the agent, yes, we want to see this person, and then they bring us in, and we usually just audition for like what they call a pre-screen sometimes, which is just a casting director, and they decide whether or not you're the right type they want for the show. Then they bring you up to creatives, and then the final auditions, well, we had dance calls and stuff too.
And jump rope calls.
Jump rope calls. And then the final callbacks are usually with not only casting and not only the director and a music director, but every creative type as well as producers and stuff in the room. Rhiannan had a different kind of audition process because there was a reality show for casting the next Elle Woods.
On MTV, right?
On MTV, right.
Talk to us about that.
Well, it's called The Search for the Next Elle Woods, and it was, I auditioned for it in LA and got a call back there, and then they said, will you come to New York, finish your audition? And I said, I'd love to, you know, and so excited, and went to New York and danced a lot and sang a lot, danced on some cobblestones, sang on some bikes, you know, did that whole thing where they're trying to portray how difficult it is to, you know, work all the time and like keep yourself in shape and be able to sing and dance at the same time. And then I ended up coming in third in that, and now they asked me to be on the tour as Margot, and I also understudy Elle.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
So the whole world watched her audition, whereas we're in a nice closed room.
Which is terrifying to know that I'm like, oh, I just messed up, and now everyone can see it on YouTube, on, you know, anywhere I've messed up, you'll find it.
Now, being that Legally Blonde, the movie, is an entity in itself, and everyone knows, okay, this is the movie, but I honestly think that the play stands alone. And yes, there are similarities, but what do you guys think separates this play differently from the movie?
I think in the musical, I think there are some plot lines that are pulled out a lot more than some roles in the movie. For example, my character Enid, the lesbian, she, like you just see little bits and pieces of her, but she gets a little more exposition, and you get to see a little bit more who she is in this show. And you've got a lot more stuff to do in this as well.
I feel like the musical version of our show is more of an ensemble.
Yeah.
The movie is Elle Woods, Reese Witherspoon is, you know, I'm on the screen. And we have, of course, we have Elle's story as well, but everyone else has a moment to shine. Everyone gets an opportunity to be in front and kind of show what you can do, and it's great to be a part of that, and that separates it from the movie and takes it to a different level, and allows it to stand on its own.
Something that I love about the musical is that, you know how most musicals you're always told that once you get to a certain point where you have so much emotion that you can't just talk, you end up screaming. Well, instead of screaming, we're singing, you know, and that's, you get so much emotion in you that you can't help but sing. And so everything's so much more heightened and so much more real, because you see all these emotions bubble up until you can't hold it anymore. You have to sing, and you have to like talk about it and share it with everyone. And that's what I love about it, is that it has that heightened aspect.
A great example of that is when Elle does her application for law school, she sends in a videotape, and they've got her by the pool and all sorts of things, and you know, but in the musical, like Harvard's reviewing and says, oh, look, Miss Elle Woods, oh, she submitted a headshot, isn't that lovely? And then all of a sudden, like cheerleaders and bands, you know, the entire like marching band of UCLA marches through.
Yeah.
And it's just, that was her application to law school.
When I teach that, I teach the choreography a lot. I go to schools and I'm like, this is an opportunity. This is musical theater. We have to dance and sing someone into Harvard. Like, that doesn't happen very often. So it's just that kind of heightened emotion. Like, we're going to get her into Harvard, and we're going to do it through music and dance.
Yeah.
She gets in, it works.
And she gets in, so we're doing it right.
Got your point across.